Hello, so this is my third and final video in my little mini-series on depression. So my first video was just kind of me telling my story. Second video on Tuesday yesterday was me trying to kind of explain what depression feels like to someone who hasn't experienced it before. It's quite hard to put that across, but hopefully I did that all right. You know, the feedback I've received from those two videos has been astounding. The number of messages I've received from people who know someone who's going through it or are going through it themselves and felt like it helped. That's why I did it. That's why I made a little change from my kind of gaming videos that I normally put on the channel and did this because I felt it was important to do, important to try and help people. It's sad that so many people are affected, but I'm glad to have played a part in making people feel that they're not alone. There are other people who go through it and get better, and that's what this video is all about, is how I kind of got better. I feel much better than I felt in a good number of years, just because I kind of took the impetus of going to my GP, explaining how I felt and getting it actually diagnosed as depression, and getting medication, getting therapy, and that to me is the first point of call if you're suffering from depression, is to go and see your GP and not be scared about it. A lot of people can be kind of worried about the medication side of it. I was as well, but my doctor started me on a low dose and then increased it depending on what I needed. So there's scope there to kind of allow for any kind of negative reaction to it. My experience was positive. It really helped me kind of get out of the lull I was in, and the therapy just kind of made me talk about things that I'd experienced in my life that kind of led me to feel this way, and kind of talk through those and kind of get those resolved, really. So that's kind of first point of call. I think there's moments where I've kind of felt suicidal during that time, and I wasn't serious enough, I don't think, to have ever acted on it. There were moments where I kind of felt like it, but didn't do it. But I think if you're in a situation, if you're watching this and you're in a situation where you feel like acting on it and you think you might be a harm to yourself, I strongly suggest going to hospital or contacting emergency services, because that should be seen as a serious physical emergency. And what you really need to do is put yourself in a situation where you're safe, where you're not going to harm yourself, and work towards getting better. And if you're in a dire situation like that, that should be kind of the first thing you do. But as I said, if you're suffering from depression for a long time, which is what I did, which is like what I experienced, then going to a GP is a really good first step. But I'd also say that kind of speaking to friends and family about the way you feel is really, really crucial. Depression can make you feel like you're really alone and that you don't want to do anything and you can't leave the house, as I've already mentioned in my other videos. But that feeling makes it very difficult to, like, my GP was like round the corner, literally like 2-minute walk, and I couldn't even do that. I couldn't summon up the strength to just leave the house and go to the GP and go get help. And it was only the support I'd got from family and friends who I told what I was going through, what I was experiencing. I said to them, I don't feel like I can even go to the GP, which is around the corner. And many of them offered lifts and support, which was much appreciated. I didn't actually need that in the end, because just talking to them about it and just them going, you can do it, you can go and get help, let's go and start the process. Just them saying that made me actually better, get the strength to go and talk to someone about it. And I just say that talking to family and friends who you trust and respect is really important. Not so they worry about you, although that's natural. I think it's more that it's so they can make sure you're okay, that they know what you're going through and can support and kind of talk you through it and get you better. And that's the most important thing. And personally, if I had a family member or a friend going through a similar thing, I'd want to know that's what they were going through so that I could support them. So that's really important. There's also other organisations who can help in times like this. One of them that I contacted was the Samaritans. There was a day where I felt particularly awful, like when I was at my worst, where I was having suicidal thoughts, and as I said, didn't have the mentality to act upon them, but I felt like I was going to get there if I didn't talk to someone. And Samaritans offer a 24/7 helpline. I actually emailed them because I didn't feel comfortable talking to someone on the phone about it. Some people don't, some people do. They take a little bit longer to reply to email. It's better to call them if you're feeling like it straight away, but I felt like I couldn't talk to someone on the phone, so there is that option if you need it. But they were really helpful, just having someone to talk to, just explain how I was feeling, get some support from people who are trained to support you, is really useful. And they're an organisation I can't speak highly of enough. And as I said, there's also other organisations such as Childline, depending on certain things you're going through. And I will put them all down in the link to this video so you can see. But yeah, and I will put, if I think of any other ideas that I haven't mentioned of ways to help, I'll put those in the description as well. So that, if you're going through a similar thing, you can join me in getting better, and you should let me know how it goes. You've got the advantage of someone here who's been through it and knows what you're going through, and if you're unsure of where to go, what to do, as I said, I'm no medical expert and I'm no therapist, but I can maybe signpost you in the right way, or just give some advice on what I did when I felt like how you're feeling. So yeah, that's it really. That's it for my 3 videos. As I said, the support I've had from doing this has been incredible. I'm very glad I did it. Obviously the previous videos were heavily edited because I just waffled on for ages talking about various people who'd helped, and it was a bit incoherent, so I had to cut it down and edit it. So apologies to anyone if you feel like you've been missed. Hopefully I've addressed that in this video. And yeah, and I thank you, and I hope that if you're suffering from what I went through, that you can get better too. Ciao.